You played hide and seek with your enemy for 500 years straight. During that time, you quietly reached the peak of Quasi-Emperor, but you never dared leak even a trace of your aura. Because this guy once crushed an entire era with an indestructible body. He's a monster, and without a real shot at winning, you weren't going to throw your life away. Then, right before your breakthrough to Emperor, a single thread of your aura slipped out. In an instant, a figure tore through the void and arrived. It was Fang Han, the dominant physique at full power. But somehow, standing in front of your enemy, you looked completely calm. Fang Han, I killed your bloodline's heir back then. And honestly, if I had to do it over, I'd do it again. That heir was Wang Teng, the top dominant physique genius of your generation. Insanely talented, but absolutely ruthless. He'd bully anyone who stood in his way. When you both went for a treasure at the Chaos Pool, he just took it by force, no questions asked, until you ended him for good. But Fang Han didn't care about any of that. You killed the future of his bloodline, and he was never going to let that slide, so he moved. The full pressure of his dominant physique, unleashed, no holding back, like a billion divine mountains dropping at once, collapsing the entire void beneath it. In an instant, a chaos divine dragon roared across the sky, painting half the cosmic wasteland purple. That terrifying pressure shook every realm in existence. That aura, that's Fang Han, the previous generation's dominant physique. He actually came out. Even the battle saint gripped his divine iron staff, war intent burning hot, and Ye Fan was holding his own against this monster without even flinching, worthy of being my greatest rival. Feng Wu, the top genius of the Phoenix clan, watched from the side, worry all over her face. But right at that moment, staring down that earth-shattering pressure, you just smiled. You want to destroy me, body and soul? Sorry, you're just not there yet. That snapped Fang Han. He completely lost it, and one kick shattered a stretch of ancient star ocean. Then he threw the hardest punch he had, the Tyrant Fist, world-shaking. Purple fist light flooded the entire cosmic wasteland in an instant. Every law of nature shattered, and there was only one target, Ye Fan. But against a blow that could obliterate countless star systems, you didn't dodge. You threw your own punch right back. It looked plain, no flashy light show, nothing dramatic, but packed inside was raw, boundless chaos divine power. The next second, boom. Where the two fists collided, the asteroid belt of the cosmic wasteland was torn clean apart, leaving nothing but absolute void. Space itself became fragile. When the light cleared, you were still standing, solid as a mountain. Not a speck of dust on you. Fang Han, on the other hand, his whole body was shaking, blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. You shook out your hand, still completely unbothered. Not bad for a dominant physique, but that's still not enough. Go all out, because once we really get started, you won't get another chance. But right then, that casual, dismissive evaluation, the little handshake, hit Fang Han harder than any attack ever could. You little punk, let me show you what the true power of the dominant physique really looks like. And the second those words left his mouth, Fang Han's body started expanding at a visible rate, insane speed. In the blink of an eye, he became a 10,000 Zhang ancient titan. A demon god dragon coiled around him, a divine phoenix bathed in fire, a white tiger roaring, a black tortoise locking down space. This was the true ultimate form of the dominant physique. The demon god's roar shattered stars, channeling all 9 divine forms at once, like he was about to erase all of time and space. Every elder watching instantly went pale. True body plus all 9 complete divine forms, power that rivals a full force strike from a freshly ascended supreme. Even inside Wendao sect, every disciple and elder watching had completely forgotten to breathe. Is this the complete form of the dominant physique? This is terrifying. Can the Saint Lord actually stop this? He's humanity's last hope. But clearly, the worry was completely unnecessary. In the next moment, you moved like a ghost, and you actually rushed straight toward that 10,000 Zhang demon god, but this time, it was totally different. The space around your fist was collapsing on its own, forming a deadly black hole vortex. Fang Han's pupils shrank instantly. For the first time in his life, he felt the shadow of death. If he couldn't block this punch, he was dead, so he held absolutely nothing back. He even burned his own sovereign source blood. A blinding purple rune lit up between his brows. Sovereign blood ignition, the strongest strike of his entire life. One punch, and the whole world goes silent. The next instant, your fist met his source-burning ultimate blow head-on, once again. But the brutal clash everyone was expecting never came. As the sound of his dominant body cracking rang out, Fang Han went flying, smashing through dozens of ancient star wreckage zones, before finally slamming into a drifting Death Star river. He let out a blood-curdling scream. That colossal demon god form instantly shattered back to normal human size, drenched in blood. That one hit brought Fang Han's aura crashing down to rock bottom, like a candle flickering in the wind. But his eyes were filled with endless confusion and rage. He genuinely could not understand. He had cultivated for countless ages, reached the absolute peak of the dominant physique. How could he lose this completely? Taken to the edge of death in one punch from some junior, you stepped forward and appeared above the Death Star River in an instant. You looked down at Fang Han with cold, empty eyes. I can't die. The glory of the dominant physique cannot be disgraced. Fang Han screamed, his remaining soul burning without restraint. He was going to self-destruct, but like you were ever going to give him that chance. The Six Paths reincarnation fist came crashing down, shaking the entire universe. Every last bit of Fang Han's hatred and fury wiped out in a single blow. Gone, completely erased, not even a speck of dust left behind. Fang Han, the dominant physique, dead. At that moment, every single person across every realm froze. The previous generation's dominant physique, killed with a single frontal punch by a kid who had only cultivated for 500 years. Yi Fan already has the power to challenge a supreme? The era is really about to change. Deep in the dragon's lair, an ancient dragon slowly closed its massive eyes and let out one long, ancient sigh. A new storm is already rising. Those old ones who've been sleeping are probably about to wake up. The heavens are heading for war again. But unlike the shock everywhere else, inside Wendao Sect it completely erupted. Haha! Heaven blesses Wendao Sect! The Saint Lord is unmatched! From this day forward, who across all the realms would dare look down on Wendao Sect? But right now, you weren't really feeling the celebration because you still had something far more important, breaking through to Emperor. Once you pulled that off, the threat from the Forbidden Zones would drop significantly. And then, you could finally face them head on. A terrifying aura that shook every realm erupted from within you. The next instant, across the original universe's cosmic wasteland, endless thunderclouds began forming out of nowhere, expanding at faster than light speed, swallowing over 100 star systems in the blink of an eye. And what was even more terrifying, inside those chaos thunderclouds, solid palaces were condensing, 9 of them stacked one above the other. Each one more majestic than the last, each one more terrifying than the last, radiating a Tao pressure that would make even a supreme tremble. This was the 9-layer immortal tribulation, only ever mentioned in mythological era texts. Another ancient relic jolted awake from his sealed divine source, eyes full of pure disbelief. The 9-layer immortal tribulation? Throughout all of history, barely anyone ever triggered it, and even fewer survived it. Can he actually make it through? Meanwhile, those who stood against you sank into deeper fear and despair. 9-layer tribulation in just 500 years? This kid cannot be allowed to live. We cannot let him succeed. And what made it even scarier, this universe-shaking Tao tribulation aura woke up the most ancient beings sleeping in the deepest parts of the Forbidden Zones. I've been dormant far too long. A supplement this powerful is exactly what I need. If I can get my hands on his source energy, I might extend my life for a very, very long time. In that moment, every realm under heaven shuddered.